Yeah, but I feel like it's just an in-game dungeon. But we'll find out now. At least we're finally starting it now. We're finally in here. The Imperial Province of Rosario. Well, this looks nice. I like the look of the place. Oh, finally some light as well. Which makes no sense to the world setting, but I don't care. I like the fact that there's some sun again.
It seems somebody's woken this place up. The question is... who?
Well, I can tell you who it wasn't.
Unauthorized biometrics detected.
Someone's here.
Data transfer!
Initializing security scan. Safety protocols disengaged.
I don't think that was someone, Clive. I think it was the tower.
Either way, it doesn't sound like we're welcome. Keep your guard up.
I like the music. I like the organs. The music's kind of good here. The voices and the organs. Like the environment looks great. Like, you know, this looks kind of cool. I like the light that's shining in as well, even though the sun's kind of there, so we're doing it from a certain angle. Well, this is new for the DLC. This wasn't... I would instantly recognize it's been used in the game already. Finally! Some light! No dark, dull...
Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
I think my powers have returned. You...
Meg! Someone get Meg! What do you mean, bro? I hate the controls in this game. Right, I need to pay attention if I'm playing on this mode. Bro! I'm getting tips here. That was not a strong start. R1 is the dodge button, Marsh. R1 to dodge. R1 to dodge. This to move. What happens when you play two action RPGs at once? It goes, well, okay. I know we're questioning whether it's an RPG, but... I'm playing the game like it's Souls. I keep pressing circle to dodge. Trev, you'll understand this. I keep trying to press circle to dodge and roll. But this is not a Souls game. The music was really good there, by the way. Alright, I need to press that to that. I used to have a set pattern. I used to go bum, 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 do that, do that. We start with that. Dun, 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 dun. Stranger Paradise isn't a Souls game though. Yo, we got 8 chunks of wire right. Dude, I thought I was gonna run out of wire right then. This whole game. Good jam. Wait, what was that? A new item? Ain't no way. New gear? Once wheeled from slumber, the spherical construct of fallen will flit and flutter about his new master like a dutiful yet unseen hummingbird sweeping in to provide aid should help need. Reduce the ability cooldown time restores a smaller HP and HP regen gauge following a position dodge. Effect potency is directly affected by the strength of the attack dodged. That doesn't sound half bad. Sure, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a whirl. There's some precision dodges again. What now? Hearth Flame. Some opponents will cast their Hearth Flame to summon a magic sphere that protects a nearby ally by dealing damage to any who come in contact with it. The enemies accompanied with Hearth Flame identified with the 6 icon. Why is it saying a 6? Interesting icon to use there. Above their heads, the sphere can be dispelled by attacking it. But be warned, melee strikes to the sphere will deal 5 damage. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that they're trying to add mechanics? Ain't no way. Kind of a mechanic. Wait a minute. Ain't no way.
So now we know where they got their weapons. But how long have they been hiding here?
Doverkin. Oh, you gotta hit it 6 times. Alright. I hear you. God, you just leave me alone, bro. You lock onto the right enemy. Where's the other guy? Where's Everett? Garuda! They used to have a combo. Oh, so that's what that is. I love the organs on this track. Yo, Snipe, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream, man.
Dusk crystals everywhere.
Well, that's one mystery solved.
But there's no mother crystal.
Yet. We still have plenty of tower to explore.
There's nowhere to go. What, do we though? Is there exploration or is it just linear? There's nowhere to go. He says explore in a very linear game. There's nothing wrong with linear games, by the way. He used the word explore.
I know that voice. Come on.
This looks like an important room. So the dusk is like the shrouds. Dust shards are like kind of like a disease. It kind of remind me of the sea from Final Fantasy 13 kind of setting, you know. You know, until we get to the mechanized Mecha Omega thing. Right?
Well, look who it is.
That looks cue the boss fight.
Warning. Warning.
Warning. Not much of a warning symbol.
Core defense systems engaged. Initiating sterilization lockdown.
What the hell is it talking about, Joshua?
You think Joshua knows?
Good things, lads. Good things. Chief.
Hey! Over here.
The bot. Bam, 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 bam.
Take your friend and get out of this place. Now.
Bam, ba-da, 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 ba-da.
And while they run away, we do the fighting. I think you've made it angry. The fireball to the side of the head will do that.
Garuda? Ow! Well played, sir. Bam, 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 bam. Heal me. I thought this healed me, I think. No, John, get up! Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I like this guy's moveset, it's kind of funny. His movement's crazy. What? I dodged! So they designed him in a way that he's hard to read. That's what they did. Yeah. That's right, I remembered. Combo breaker. See on side drizzle. A2. He has more attacks. He has these stupid orbs of flipping over to my hands, of course. And he has that stupid thing that dragon had. Oh my god, bro. Calm down, man. What is that? I can see it. I didn't see that one. The camera killed me there. Ba, ba, ba. That's a lot of experience. It only gave me 2 bajillion experience points there. Look at the tiny stat boost you give me, man. What's the point of levels in this game? Hey, I got as much experience as you guys have coins in chat, you know? Look at that. I got At least, you know. Oh, Fallen Enforcer. Reforged. It's worse than the Ultima Sword, but sure. I'm sure it's, thanks for the sword game. Thanks for the GG, dude. I gotta say, the fight was, that fight was, a bit better designed than a lot of the ones in the main game. Only because, like, mainly, he made him chain combos together, rather than just him only do basic attack, wait, dodge, and you dodge, and you get lucky. You had to be a bit more efficient. He did, like, a few attacks back to back. That one in the middle was kind of fun to dodge.
Security Sentinel 503 offline. Initiating emergency call relocation protocol.
If I didn't know better, I'd say that was the heart of a mother crystal.
So, all these theories about mother crystals are incorrect. There was one here the whole time. Oh wait, no, this would have been no shivers. Unless it got moved.
I knew that fallen thing was no match for you. Allow me to apologize for earlier. That was, ill-played. All born of a misunderstanding, though. Can we start again?
We don't need your apologies.
We know that I killed the big scary
We need
pony.
answers. And you're going to give them to us.
I suppose you'll be wanting to know about the tower, then. As you've probably guessed, this isn't the first time we've been here. Fact is, my people have been coming to this place for centuries.
Have they now? To these ruins in particular?
Aye, well, they, talked to us. Told us what this lot was all for.
Yo, C-Mark.
And what is it for?
Well, believe it or not, the Fallen were actually using this place to make their own, mother crystal. Though, despite years of searching, all we ever found was shards.
Then, Harpocrates was right. It would seem that the Fallen did indeed acquire the god's ability to craft crystals.
I wouldn't go that far. The shards aren't exactly divine. They're not even what you'd call decent. But they're better than nothing, and nothing is what our people had before we found them. So we've been coming here ever since.
But these dusk crystals have only recently appeared on the black market. What made you decide to start selling them?
The skies.
Money.
Once they went dark, the crystals
Hello,
started
Jill?
going back, till there were more than you could count.
Jill, hello?
With the mothers all cracked, anyone with anything that could muster so much as a spark had people queuing up to take their coin.
Yes. At a cost to us all. Quality apart, these crystals are no different from the ones the world has been using since the dawn of time. And it cannot continue.
No, it cannot. While this is clearly none of Ultima's doing, there can be little doubt but that it serves his cause.
Then our path is clear. So let's do what must be done.
Wait, you lot aren't thinking what I think you're thinking, are you?
Oh, I think there's a good chance
Don't
we
think
are.
too hard, buddy. It'll hurt your little brain.
What about the tower's defenses?
Tower defense game.
That thing you just fought, it won't be the last one. And the further you climb, the worse they'll get. How about we head back to Martha's before someone gets hurt?
Yeah. I like
That
challenges.
is sound advice, which I suggest you take before someone gets hurt.
He's still gonna die.
I've never seen anything like that in here before.
Are you sure you don't want to think this over?
Are you
We can
sure?
talk about it outside, where it's...
I got a new sword, but I don't think it's better. It's also reforged, so it's not even like, you know. Have a look at it. It looks like that. It looks like. Hey, it's got a nice look to it though. And we're getting the sun again. In a few hours, yeah. Stay safe. Have a good one. I like the look of the sword. If I could look at it properly. But sadly, no ultimate weapon. So there's the tower challenge, I guess.
To think the Fallen built all this. The knowledge they must have needed. Knowledge now lost.
Look at that. Look at that view. Oh, we're not going in that part of the tower. Alright.
If this is like every other Fallen ruin,
Then there'll be a lift.
I get the feeling there's a fire on it.
onward and upward.
What was that, Clive? Lowering. Oh. If this was a Souls game, you'd fall off there and get trolled and be like, ah!
Any idea what those are?
They seem to be containers of some sort. Or perhaps
Cages. Like some sort of twisted menagerie. But why here?
Oh, you know you're just gonna be fighting these. Wait, that's a chocobo. Fallen belt. I get the feeling none of these are gonna be good. Wait, it's better than what I've got on. Actual improvement. Whole HP. Let's go. At least there's a chest with an actual item that matters. There's 100% of fight in it. 100% is all about to get me. Ready? In 3, in 2, in 1. Dun 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 dun.
How many of these things are there?
Contaminant detected. Releasing subjects Alpha to Epsilon.
Wait, they're still alive.
But this tower is more than 15 centuries old.
place to grow crystals. Why imprison creatures here?
We're in Dexter's lab. We're back to the lab. Hey, you wait. This stuff out of here.
That device. It glows just like the doors.
Development log entry 680.
Door time.
25. Mitogenic reactor trial successful. 23 units of grade 3 seed crystal produced. Moving forward, all seeds fabricated from inorganic material are to be replaced with lab-grown organic specimens.
Organic specimens. So they were turning living creatures into crystals.
Where have I heard that before? Where have I heard that before? Wait a minute. That's the Full Metal Alchemist plot. They're turning live people and creatures into crystals. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I've heard this before. That's the exact plot before. Oh. Eduardo. Those organs, man. I'll be honest. These kinds of dungeons, they should have done more of this in the game, rather than just running around the map endlessly doing boring side quests. This is what this side quest should have been. This is a massive side quest, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, this is what the side quest should have been. Like, side quests that do like dungeons like this, even if they're linear, it doesn't matter. It's way more fun than, hey, I'm gonna pick up this, do this fetch quest, gonna speak to this person, gonna do this, and then end of quest, you know? Oh, we've got to fight some random monsters that's conveniently there. That's got nothing to do with the quest as well. Open the door. Nothing.
Then we'll have to find another way.
I wouldn't say it did very well. 15 had some of the worst side quests I've ever seen. If you've done the frog quest, you know exactly what I'm talking about. See you in a bit, heroes. Main story. The problem with 15 is they didn't do enough 15 main quests. It was just rushed, and half the main quest was sitting in a car listening to them talk for like 5 minutes, and then they go, you know. Because there wasn't any, the main game side quest, there wasn't any side quests in the main game. The DLC added stuff to it, like, or after the initial release. So the stuff they added Royal, some of the extra dungeons, stuff like that were fine, right? But 15 had this, go speak, there's this guy you go and have to collect dog tags for. There's that quest on repeat all the way through. There's the frog one. There's another person that has the same quest on repeat, and it's just the same thing in different locations. The hunts were kind of nice. I like the hunt system in 15, but it wasn't the first time they've done a hunt system like that. That's the same as 13, which is also good. So
I doubt some of the creatures in these cages have been seen in Valisthea for 1,000
there weren't enough dungeons like this in 16 though. The dungeons in 15 were fine the first time, but when it's the same quest on repeat, it got boring. Same dungeon on repeat rather. Except for the boss. The bosses were kind of nice. I can't. Camera. What is this, Jurassic Park? Stop! What is hitting me, bro? Dying? What am I getting hit by? Hey, bro, you can't dodge them both at the same time! I've lost my touch with this game, bro. Minute sleep dungeons were a lot better. No, that's like the long. I didn't even bother. I was so bored of the game at that point because it was just enemies that kept showing up and they all had like status effects and stuff. I was kind of like, the damage was done for 15 at that point. That scream that you had. I actually died in this game. That's kind of it. I know them on the harder mode, but I can't see half the time the enemies. Oh, they're still here. Why did I just do this last time? See? Easy. Well, that's because they got so much replayability. I was bored of 15. There's no, I have no reason to ever touch 15 again. I can't think of a single way to make a challenge run out of 15. And that's the sad thing about it. Like, the game was rushed and they changed the development of 15 so much that it got to the point where I could just tell by playing it. I only played it for the first time last year and I could just tell that the quality just weren't there. Like, it was too busy product placementing and putting pointless things and telling a bad story that they changed 15 times, probably. I say that unironically. And for what? For if you don't get me wrong, if you enjoyed 15, I got nothing against that. I don't try to tell people you should enjoy 15. But for me, I just felt the game was a bit the quality just weren't there. Once willed from slumber, this spherical construct, fallen provenance, will flit and flutter around the Doom Master. Goods HP regain around potential taking damage while fluttering. What? Yeah, I'll just replace. I'll try the new stuff. There you go. Boom. Where's it? Okay. Oh, potential. The other bar. Okay, I like that. $15 had a lot of potential. It just kind of it killed itself off. But it's more because of the story direction that bothered me more than anything. How's it going, Nazida? Finally someone's streaming? I'm always streaming at this time. What do you mean? Oh. Okay. Good to see that, Azita. You enjoyed the combat and weapon.
Of course.
Hold that for Monster Hunter.
So it appears this incarnation can fly.
Ow. Fell for it.
Let's try.
Oh my god! Bing, bing, wing, wing. Alright, dude. It's flying, dude. I'm surprised to see new enemies in this game. It's crazy. You die. Okay. Dragon Quest XI is a turn-based JRPG made by Square, and I heard it's very, very good. Once willed from slumber, increases will damage dealt by. This is another accessory. Increases will damage dealt by using the most aerial attack by 20%. It is turn-based. It's proper turn-based, not ATB. Increases will damage by dealt by both aerial attack by 20%. Damage or will okay. Increases max the number of stomps from 2 stomps. Interesting.
And that makes 2.
Yes, but of how many?
Well, that depends on how determined they were to conceal
Interesting.
their activities.
I enjoyed combat and weapons. I can see why people find 15's combat is fun, because it's very active. And the warping around thing is kind of fun. But unfortunately, that's all you need to do in the game to beat the game. But I've heard that there's some pretty crazy combos you can do. There's just no need for them. But yeah, I've heard like there's some stuff. I like the idea of the spells in 15 as well, that they're really massive. But the problem is, the time you use it, your party just get knocked out. Yeah, so 15 went for me. Royal Tradition plus the extra story stuff. Insomnia. Well, that's my problem, Monster Hunter. They released 15 and it's such an incomplete state that when it's like with when people say Cyberpunk is a good game now and it should be praised. No, it shouldn't be. When they released it 3 years ago, it weren't even close to being a complete game. Like, and that was the same for 15. And it isn't just Square's fault that that game got released like that. A lot of games, Activision and EA, at that time were really got it in this mindset that that's the only way to compete and release games now. So Square went and did the same thing. Same for Ubisoft. That's why all the games are the same boring games and repeat for a while. And then they added stuff to it up. It didn't complete the game by any stretch of the imagination because the story didn't get complete, in my opinion. 15 story is nowhere near complete because they didn't finish it. So. Oh no, this is very different to 15 by a long shot, in my opinion. Well, No Man's Sky is the true redemption story, if anything. They work on their game every single month, so they do deserve praise where it's due. But yeah, they just overhyped their game. That's what Cyberpunk did. 15's was hyped up. The thing with 15 is if you know about Versus, then you'll know exactly where I'm coming from. Where they effectively might have released the wrong game, but there's because a lot of staff changes and the CEO at the time. There's lots of innate details, politics within Square that caused 15 to be 15. But I also know a lot of people like 15, so and say it's one of their favorites was the first that got them into the series, which is totally fair. It's not 1%. Game that was 1% released. What do you mean? You mean complete? It's not 1%. I wouldn't go that far. To be honest with you, if the game was in the state but the story was like full and complete, I would have been fine. I still would have had things to say about 15.
This is all too easy. If the tower is in control, why not simply disable the lift?
What are you suggesting, Joshua?
That it's hurting us.
I feel like those flying things are going to be like, we're going to fight multiple of them in one room later on. I mean...
There's an entire fleet.
I wonder if any are still capable of flight.
Mid will want to see this.
It's an airship! There is a lot of driving in that game. A lot of bad driving. There's a lot of cutscene where you watch the car drive, unfortunately. Here's when you unlock the airship. All good games have an airship. Yo, welcome home, Andrew. Yo, check out the view! that massive crater? Am I supposed to know what that is? Wait, where are we on the map? Is that crater there? Oh, it might be. I've uploaded my playthrough on 15 as well on my YouTube, and I think it was a Let's Play, and yeah, I'm not the most positive person about that game there, so I wouldn't take my Let's Play as a... Yes, the 15 airship. Yeah, alright, cool. Airship. There is a clip of me somewhere crashing in the tunnel with the car. It's not always driving, to be fair. Nah, you're good, don't worry. Let's go, mushroom. Look how high we are. I'm on top of the world! No. Rosaria? 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 There it is, there's Rosaria! Hey, who's looking after the city now? I thought the place got destroyed. Right, so if we're... Rosaria's behind this way. And that way. There's got to be that crater there. And beyond that has to be the Deadlands. You can't see. Oh no, the Deadlands are up there. Ah, see, that's where the trees end. I see now. I'm just trying to place things. Oh, that must be that town there and that crater. Yeah, okay, I got it. I'm really glad they brightened up this dungeon. The whole game's so dark at this point. Oh, everything died. Oops! No, you're confusing Dark Souls with, Dark Souls is... I disagree. I disagree with that completely. There has been action RPGs that aren't Dark Souls. Kingdom Hearts existed before Dark Souls, and that's an action RPG. It's not even close to being a Souls game. Would you play Final Fantasy VI or earlier game remake if it kept it turn-based? Well, it depends what you mean by turn-based. If you mean real turn-based, or do you mean ATB? Because 6 isn't turn-based, nor is 7, nor is 8, nor is 9. 10 is. But in terms of like the old system, it depends on how they remake the game. When you say remake 6, would you expect it to have 4K graphics like this? Because if so, I don't think it would work very well, realistically being. Yeah, it depends on the game's mechanics as well and how they implement it. Because if they remake 6, I said 6 should be the one that gets remade. If they ever do a remake after 7, right? Because it's got enough of a fan base to grow on. It's got enough of a fan base that people would love it. Because it's, you know, people say it's 6 or 7 of the 2 best Final Fantasies, right? Majoritively speaking, right? And then you'd be able to bring in a new audience, which is what Square would want. They always want to bring in new audiences, as you should. You know, there's nothing wrong with growing, expanding your game. I'm going to do that. But it depends. My view is I don't care what the system is as long as it's good. As long as it's good, it's got mechanics, it's fun to play. You know, I'm not afraid of trying new mechanics. I am of the opinion in terms of Final Fantasy, you can't expect... Every Final Fantasy game is different mechanically, right? Just because the ATB's always been there, or turn-based with the style system. They're always mechanically different. There's not one Final Fantasy that's the same, apart from maybe 1 to 5, maybe 1 to 4, right? So then progressing Final Fantasy the way it is now, I don't really have a problem with it. Because, you know, that's how they want the direction of Final Fantasy. To be honest, remake the games and give them graphics, keeping these games with works. It doesn't work like that, Alzido. Why you think that might work with respect, doesn't work. It doesn't work. If they release Final Fantasy VII with the graphics of the remake right now, but with the same exactly the original gameplay, it would play awful. 100% play awful. It's more the nostalgia talking than anything there. Everything after 10 has been... Yeah, I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from. A lot of people feel like after Squaresoft, Final Fantasy took a dip. I've heard 12 is good. I haven't played 12 yet though. But I heard that is pretty good, but it's very different, you know. And they went in a different direction. How would it play awful? Because 7 isn't even coded well to begin with. It's a mess. The fact that you can break and glitch things on a regular basis, it's not the same. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't be immersive. It wouldn't be interesting. It would be I play it once and never play it again because I could just play the original. One thing I like about remakes being different is... No, the reason why I'm glad it's different is one thing, I can play the original and it's still special in its own way. And I can play the remake and it's completely different and special in its own way. It doesn't replace the original. When people... The whole idea of remaking it needs to be the same. It just replaces the original and no one's going to... You move on from the original. Which, to me, I just don't agree with. I'm glad that the remake's different. Both mechanically, even though it's not majorly, like, they even keep a lot of the core stuff there, but it's just done in a different way in 7's remake, though. So, a 1-for-1 remake, from taking a PlayStation 1 game or earlier, and doing a 1-for-1 remake with modern game graphics, I just don't think it would ever look good. It don't ever fit, you know. Remastering is fine, like, you know, if you want to remaster that game, but like the Steam version of 7 is the best version of 7 you're going to get, in my opinion. No, I don't agree with remakes should be banned. I just think slapping the word remake in front of everything to make money is, you know, as the cheap cash grab is a bit of a shame. Because some of them do that. But yeah, you've also said to me you haven't played the Final Fantasy VII remake yet, but you have this opinion, this strong opinion that it's bad. You've said this to me before, and that's why I bring this up and say, like, you've specifically told me that you haven't played 7 remake, but you're quite happy to like say it's bad. Like, you need to like try it out yourself. Really, you might. Don't get me wrong. If you've played it and be like, yeah, it wasn't for me, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to like the remake. I'm not saying you should. And seeing it is different to actually playing it. Seeing it isn't the same as experiencing it, you know. That's just how I feel about it. Like, I'm not saying you should enjoy... If you played the remake and said, yeah, I didn't enjoy it, I'll stick to the original. That's fine. That's perfectly... There's nothing wrong with that. The reason why I keep going back to the original game is because I think, ironically, it has a bit more... When I played 7's remake, I enjoyed it, loved it, had the nostalgia rush and a fresh feeling of a new game. And then they have a hard mode on there, which gives you a whole new set of mechanical way and an in-game challenge. And hard mode is an actual proper hard mode. It's really good and really fun. But you're just not for everyone. You don't have to do it, but it's still really fun, you know. And it's still and it gives me a fresh. The fact that we don't know what's going to happen in the next game, and they're encapsulating all the world, the Final Fantasy VII universe's canon and lore into this new version. But the original still stands its test of time, hasn't been replaced. People can still enjoy the original, and therefore you don't have to pick one or the other. You don't have to like both of them, But the fact that the option's there and you can have a different experience both is amazing. Now, some devs do put the word remake on things, and it's not a remake. Cough, cough, Naughty Dog, cough, cough, The Last of Us, and think that that's, you know, worth money. But it's not, you know. But I'm just saying, a 1-for-1 4K remake of Final Fantasy VII would be, it just wouldn't work. Like, it just wouldn't work. It's the same when people are saying, it's not a full game, it's been broken into 3 games. Or it's 3 parts, it's not a full game. The it's not a full game mentality is, no, you're just saying, okay, the story's not complete, therefore it's not a full game. It's still like full 60-hour game. It's still got all of the stuff. It's still got a full game set of things to do in the game. In fact, it's a bigger game than most other modern games, if I'm being honest. Command & Conquer Remake is essentially the same game. There's a Command & Conquer Remake? There's a remake? I didn't know there's a remake. Probably why it's probably not that good. Never heard of it. I'm just saying, it doesn't attract me at all. Well, that's fine. If it doesn't attract you, that's fine, but don't just throw it under a bus at the same time. Anything, the 5 choreographic, an action RPG, you want to... I totally get if you like the old school style JRPGs. I totally get it. And then I can recommend you games like Octopath Traveler, Dragon Quest XI, what's it really, Persona. I'm sure you like the Persona games if you like the original, if you like turn-based kind of games. Persona's a great modern take on turn-based video games, actually. Persona's probably up there for it. I don't think this looks anything like a Dark Souls game. I think you're just talking about the style. It's just an action RPG. But if they're not for you and you get bored, that's totally fine. You know, I'm not trying to force it on you. I'm just saying you seem very very passionate about these games being, you know, almost bad, but I feel like you haven't truly experienced them. And that's what I'm just trying to say, you know. But it won't look good. They wouldn't be able to fit it in. What do you mean? How would it work? It won't fit into one game. What you're asking for is unrealistic, in my opinion. It's not even an opinion. You've got to think about, well, how modern games are built, how they work, how you're going to market as well. It's more than just, oh, just do the same thing. Because it won't look good. And you'll be like, oh, you'll feel the whole game is rushed, 100%. You'll feel like, oh, they just rushed the remake, and you'll play it once, and you'll never play it again, and you'll say it's terrible. Well, no, a remaster doesn't necessarily... So, the difference between a remake and a remaster, guys, proper ones, remaster uses the same game's base code and upgrades maybe the graphics a bit, you know, upscales it, you know, maybe adds some quality of life at best. A remake is you build the game from the ground up. Whether your remake... 7's remake is not a good example of a remake because it's its own game. 7's remake is its own game. It's not a remake of... Shut up, Clive. It's not a remake of Final Fantasy VII, effectively. It's almost a reboot. It's its own canon. They are 2 separate canons. Okay? Darth, by the way, I saw you, by the way. I said hello. I don't know if I said hello. I hope you're doing well today, man. But they are 2 separate canons. So, saying that, even comparing them is kind of lost to me, because there's just no point anymore. Yeah, it is completely. When you play it, 7 remake's a bit different to what you would think of as a remake. I think Resident Evil 4 did that as well, actually, where they basically made it its own thing. It's its own entity, its own thing, yeah. Which is why I say, when you play 7 Remake, it's good that it's different, it's its own thing. Therefore, you don't have to sit there. When I first played the game, I didn't have to think about it. I didn't want to ruin the game for myself when I first played it. And I went in, I'm going to go with the fresh mindset. I'm not going to compare to the original, blah, blah, blah. And I genuinely didn't. And I got a good experience and I didn't expect it to be different, but it came out to be completely different. It blew me away. But it's its own it's like its own canon, its own entity. See them as 2 separate games. They're not... whilst Remake is a product of 7, so its success can be built on its original game. Because obviously the iconic characters, people feel they love that nostalgia. 100% it's its own video game, you know. It's like Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 7, you know. It doesn't, and that's what I like about it being differently. It doesn't replace the original. If it just remade it to the point where it just replaced the original, I wouldn't even play a 4K 1-for-1, or I'd play it and probably never play it again. I love the old graphics of Final Fantasy VII because that's what Final Fantasy VII is to me, the original game. I like the fact that you got the old chibi models and that kind of, you know, that's the nostalgia talking. No, I know what you. I know you didn't say that. There's one scene where you're using Barrett to shoot down things. That's used once briefly in the game. That's like a gimmick moment in the game. You're not really like FPSing in Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know what you're probably seeing. You probably saw that one clip, and it's like happens for like 1 minute. Yeah, I thought it wasn't a remake. It's Command & Conquer. They remastered the original game and the Red Alert one. And you can switch the graphics on that. One of the things I like about remasters when you can switch the graphics to compare it to the original. That's such a cool idea. Diablo 2 also did that. How's it going, Zach? Good to see you. Yeah, the remake word is intentional for the Final Fantasy VII remake. Because they got different words. Remake, rebirth, blah, blah, blah. No, 7's not remastered with Flash. I didn't say that. Well, Gacha's a completely different thing, Sniper. That's just a mobile game. Gacha's just a mobile game with a pay system that's going to rip you off if you choose to use a pay system. The remaster is the same game with the same code, with like upscale graphics. The Steam version of Final Fantasy VII, the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII, the Switch version, that's a remaster of Final Fantasy VII. It just hasn't put the word remaster in it. But one time that you chose to use the word remaster, we got the 8 remaster, and we all know how that one went. That went terrible. But 9 is a good example of, even though it's not got the word remaster in it, it's a fantastic version of the game. Oh, if Final Fantasy VII was an FPS. Oh, I see. I say you're saying. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying. You're saying like the change of game style is what put you off of it. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a completely separate entity. You know, it's not Final Fantasy VII. It's not. It doesn't do anything to. It doesn't do. The thing is, the remake doesn't do anything to spit on the original game. Some remakes try to. Spit isn't the best word, but some remakes try to replace or make out that version an inferior version of the game. Remake actually shows love to the original game in very clever, like Easter eggish ways and kind of like call outs and stuff, but then makes it its own product. It does the job of playing itself, and you don't even have to have played the original to play the remake. You know, it tells its own story, and that's one of the cool things about it. You know, it's its own little entity. That's why it's fine that the style changed as well. They did add I can't remember what it's called. There's like a mode where it's meant to be close to the original, but it's not. But I think what you're trying to say is you'd like an ATB based modern Final Fantasy game. That's possible. It doesn't have to be a remake. If they made Final Fantasy 17 a ATB game, that's like a Persona, you know, and it's possible because Persona 5 did it. Well, that's turn-based to be fair, but they could do it. It's still possible to do it. I wouldn't say it would look. Maybe the graphics in battle would be different. Like they might choose to go down that thing. You know, we don't run Square at the end of the day. But I don't mind 7's remake being a different style of game. No. As for the Final Fantasy, I've yet to play that. Yeah, but that's a multiverse game. I'm saying that as a mainline game, its own thing. Oh, if you like Alida, if you like turn-based, you'll love Persona. Hey, there's a lot of people in here, even though I'm finished Persona 5, but there's a lot of people in here that could speak Persona. Persona has not only got great characters, great stories, great soundtrack, but it's got a really good battle system in the game as well. I think you'd really like, if you got a chance to play Persona 5 or 4 Golden, you'd love them. They're two I'd recommend before anything. You don't need to play them in order. They're their own, like Final Fantasy, their own separate universes. No fuel gauge. I totally get that, Alzida. That's the most relatable adult comment ever. Now, there's only time to play all these video games. I'm saying, here's the thing, I'm just very open-minded to games. I judge a game on what they give me in the product, not go, okay, they all need to make the same kind of game forever. I actually think it's nice to see that Square try to make all their games a bit different and differential. Well, remakes, again, 7's remake is not a proper remake in terms of what people expect. When people say remake, they expect the same game, but remade from the ground up. And it depends on the style, because remakes don't have to be in 4K. A remake can be just slightly better looking chibis, but they've rebuilt the game's code from the ground up kind of thing. But two good examples of successful remakes are Resident Evil 4 and 7's remake, because they both are not the same as they encapsulate themselves of not replacing the old game, but they just have this new fresh feeling of playing it. So yeah, it's like a fresh game. It's its own game, its own entity.